One of our favorite people, we have Fiddly Fig. You brought in Sheryl with Fiddly Fig.
I hire Sheryl for about 90% of the weddings.
So we want to walk on over.
Let's go look at beautiful flowers.
She is. Sheryl White with Fiddly Fig. Thank you for being here. You brought the best display here, and one of the things that you were talking about before our show, and that Michael gave a oh yeah to, is there's a trend for succulent bouquets.
Yes, there is.
Like cactus? What are you talking about when you say a succulent bouquet?
These are succulents here, and
what are these
girls
called?
Just really they're succulents.
That's just what you call them?
Yep.
You say, I want a bouquet with succulents?
Is that a particular one called the henna chicks?
Those are called henna chicks.
I'm going to hold this so that Phil can get a tight shot of this. When did this start becoming a thing? It's so pretty.
Probably within the last year.
Yeah.
They're popular for everything right now. Arrangements for...
We saw succulent Christmas trees around the holidays. People put these succulents in a Christmas tree arrangement.
It's quite the rage. We see it a lot on Pinterest right now, and brides are really asking for succulents. They actually look like little flowers themselves.
They're so pretty. Boutonnieres. You brought the best boutonnieres. This goes well beyond a carnation or a rose or what have you.
They've become a lot more intricate. This is one with the succulent. Be really good for the groom.
So you would match your bride. And then it's got these little twirly doodle things. What are these? I know they're not called twirly doodles.
I thought that sounded very specific.
I would like the succulent twirly doodle boutonniere, please.
That's a botanical
It's part of that Brasilia berry. It's part of the
Brasilia berry.
It's very natural. That's one thing that they're really going with.
The boutonnieres are very complex now. They're very, very interesting, and like little miniature corsages.
They're so pretty. I bet you do a lot for dances, high school dances.
We do.
Do you get like prom?
Yes.
I want to hold this one up because this one I love. What are these things called?
Billy balls.
Billy balls.
They have been really popular as well. Again, it's really natural, and people just love them.
So put this right here on a blue velvet tux, and just imagine how that's going to pop.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great look.
That is a good look. Tell me about how you work with a theme when it comes to a client. For example, this is not a vase. What is this here?
That is a log, actually, a hollowed out log. There again, it goes with that natural feel. We just did a wedding that had everything was a log or birch. A lot of birch.
The bride and groom were
really
big
pretty.
mountain climbers and dirt bikers, and they wanted everything to be as outdoorsy as possible.
And you were
so
together.
there was very
with them.
Yep, absolutely. Cheryl and I do weddings together every month.
Cheryl, when someone comes to see you, what information are you thinking, gosh, I hope they have this already before they make an appointment?
I love it when they have their dress and their attendance dresses, because then their colors are reasonably set. Venues are really important.
So know your dress, know what your bridesmaids are wearing, and know where you're getting married?
Where you're getting married.
And how about a realistic budget?
A realistic budget always helps. Always helps.
Does anybody ever have a realistic budget, or is it usually they come in and you're like, well, I don't know if we could do that on this budget?
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. And if we always try and say, do not skimp on your bouquet. It's in every picture. That's really important. And the rest, we always have good ideas of. You can double use something, bouquets at the event or at the church.
Like, for instance, the aisle arrangements we were just looking. Almost every time we do beautiful pew cascades, you're going to find those again at the reception somewhere, but they're not going to look like we took the pew cascades off and used them as centerpieces. There'll be a way to rework them.
So you are taking things that people saw in the wedding and then weaving them into the decorations?
I'm real big on that, repurposing.
The bouquets could be in an urn at the wedding and then put them in a vase at the reception. They don't look at all alike.
You have a client, let's just say a client comes in, traditional wedding, they have a very limited budget, but they really want their flowers to just sing.
Right.
Where do they spend their money?
Where the pictures are. It's something that you have forever. That's one thing you have forever.
So the bouquets.
And,
the brides, for sure. The girls, the bride is the star.
Yeah.
The girls, not so much.
Another thing that Cheryl and I are both really tuned into is don't put flowers that don't show up in pictures. In other words, don't do a huge arrangement in front of the altar that the bride and groom are kneeling in front of or standing in front of for photographs. Have the flowers, like in the one behind us, elevated on a tall urn, on a tall pedestal. If it shows up in pictures, it's worth spending the money.
Michael Nolte, thank you. Cheryl White, thank you so much with Fiddly Fig. We are so happy to have you here. And later on in the show, we're talking about the actual wedding when it comes to a destination wedding. And for that, we're going to talk with a travel pro.